Good evening, everybody. Hope you're well. I hope you've had a nice day. Welcome to my second vlog. In this vlog, what I want to sort of explain is really my experiences, sort of going through the years of things that, when I look back now, I can see that there is a clear indication there of learning difficulties, and I would hope either by you or by you sharing this through your friends and contacts, it might give other people the insight as to maybe somebody that they might know that might have a learning difficulty, that they can then sort of go and assist and help and provide the sort of necessary guidance and assistance to. So, you know, going to school was very difficult. Secondary school wasn't a great place anyway. It wasn't a very happy time for a number of reasons, but from a learning point of view, it was really hard. Never really in the top. Wasn't in fact in any top classes. Sort of like your English and your maths. In fact, when I had my assessment for dyslexia, the assessor was quite intrigued as to why this wasn't picked up at school, and I regaled two stories about the maths teacher, and at the beginning of the lesson he'd say to us, "Do you want to do any work?" Which, I'm sure you can imagine the answer to a group of sort of 14, 15-year-olds, and his response was, "Well, just get your books out, and if the tutor comes in, make it look like you're doing some work." So that was the kind of, it wasn't really the greatest school, and can also praise it's shut now. But beside that, school was difficult. I did always feel like things took longer for me to work at. Trying to sort of, I wanted to do well at school. I've always had quite a good self-motivation, but the learning techniques that were imparted to me by both tutors and other people just didn't work for me, and because that was the way I was taught, it just meant that in the end I gave up. I know for a fact I didn't realise my true potential at school because of either the tutorage or lack of tutorage that might have picked up these learning difficulties a damn sight earlier. The biggest example that I could give, in fact there's probably a couple, I was suffering at school in the sense of, again, learning and through my English, and at the time of doing my mocks I got a D in my language and an E in my literature, and my mum and dad sort of paid for one of the school teachers from my school to come and give me some private tutorage, and it worked, because rather than sort of somebody speaking to a class of 30 back in 1992, 93, where you just obviously, again, teaching to a group of kids, he was able to sort of sit down with me and listen to me and watch me, and it really did help. I got a C in me language and a D in me literature, so there was a definite improvement. But it was quite clear during school that there was something not quite right. The absolute, and it was quite a, I suppose, a moment of realisation at the point that I was waiting for my dyslexia assessment. My dad came round and he'd been clearing the loft out. And he said, listen, look, I've brought these school reports around, and I thought, there's got some pictures in there, and I thought you could show your children, my two children, your work and things like that. And I did, and we had a good laugh. And my daughter was took quite a lot of. She liked the fact that Daddy's handwriting wasn't the best when he was young. But what was more intriguing, other than my daughter having a lot of laughs at me, was my report cards. And it was quite, it was alarming to sort of see at that point that, it was pointing at this fact that I had a learning difficulty. Darren needs to slow down. Darren rushes. Darren misses words out. Darren doesn't read properly. Darren needs to take his time. And it was like, again, at that point in time, I had not had my learning difficulty assessment, and it was like, my God, at 15, 16, it was screaming. Even younger, it was, there was something the matter, to a point that I needed something extra that other children didn't have. Going down to the revision, I was taught a particular way to revise by the tutors, and handache, sorry, and I listened to the tutors for the GCSE. I listened to other people, and because that was the way that I was taught, it didn't work for me. And in the end, I probably gave up. And two C's, 4 D's, and 2 E's. Not the worst grades in the world, but I feel now, if I'd have had that support, my grades would have been substantially better. Would that have encouraged me to stay on at sixth form, college, go to university possibly? Who knows? If buts and maybes, sorry, but you never know. But and this is kind of the whole reason of doing these vlogs now, is that I want to sort of really kind of scream it from the rooftops as to, learning difficulties are here. 1 in 10 people in the UK have got a learning difficulty. But the problem is, people are either too scared, they don't know, and it takes people to sort of have the guts and the courage to go, you know what, I need a bit of help. And if these series of blogs go in a way to help one person, then you know what, brilliant. And yeah, I hope they help. So chuck a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, please share it. I will sort of put this onto Instagram, onto Facebook, onto LinkedIn. So, share it, and share it. The more people that get to see this, the greater there is that opportunity. You might think, I'm all right, mate. I don't really think this is for me, but there could be somebody else that you might be able to help. So please share it, and have a pleasant evening. And I'll do another one very soon. Cheers. Take it easy. Bye.